Hello everybody, Derek Stam Toys back with another figure review, and today we are going to be reviewing Unmatched Series 10, Wardlow. Now I'm sure a lot of you people might have seen this review already, but if you haven't, I appreciate you for stopping by, and I'm very excited to add this Wardlow to the collection of Wardlows. Only been two so far, but that's great because that means I can keep up easier. And not just is it another Wardlow figure, but it's in the all white and purple pinnacle gear. Now, that was probably one of my more favorite factions from AEW, whether they're still together or not, obviously. I guess you can say in ways they kind of are, because FTR, Wardlow, and well, now you can say Sean Spears as well, because he did just return a couple weeks ago. They all still kind of team up with each other every so often. It's only MJF who's kind of been kicked out of the group, so it doesn't really matter because MJF is also currently the AEW World Champion. So look who's on top, not Wardlow. Anyways, I've already spun this. Let's get into the figure review. I'll be right back after I open it, you guys. Alrighty, you guys, we're back, and now we've got all of Wardlow's accessories, which, yes, I did take the head that was on the body off, because I want to look at the head sculpts a little bit closer. Because, the hair is more black here, and I'd say the fade is pretty much more prevalent on this head sculpt. And well, they both are pretty prevalent on the fade. But like, just hold on. Alrighty, so after a figure fell on the floor, because I was working on the Mace figure right before I started to do this one, but I grabbed the Wardlow from the first. Jesus, I'm a little tired. I'm sorry, you guys. It wasn't the first. It was what I think like the third Unmatched Series Wardlow. And honestly, I kind of like these head sculpts a little bit better that came with this one. Like, yeah, the fade is more prevalent on this one. But I just, I can't get behind the fact that, well, mine has a little smudge right there. And then this one, it's almost as if they forgot to put the mustache on it. So I don't know how to feel about these head sculpts. If they're the same skin tone, I'll probably just end up using the older head sculpts on this figure. But that's whatever. Not the biggest deal. Then we got two fisted hands. He also comes with Mike holding hands, but unlike the head sculpt, I didn't feel like taking the hands off. So, guess you can account that to my laziness. But now, let's get into the figure itself and look at the gear, because, this figure is absolutely phenomenal already. Alrighty, now that we've got a head sculpt back on this figure, I do kind of like the way this head sculpt looks a lot better than the Screaming head sculpt. So, I mean, that's kind of That's kind of funny, but that's probably because of the smudge on the Screaming head sculpt. Now, the detail on the attires is really damn great. Just because, like, you've got this nice little gorilla logo right there. It's kind of hard to align it up and keep it in focus, but there you go. It's got the purple camouflage going all over the place. You've got Wardlow going down the back. So this is probably one of his more unique attires, I guess you could say, because every other attire I've ever seen Wardlow in looks kind of like his Unmatched Series 3 or Series 4 figure. Honestly, I can't even remember off the top of my head. That's okay though. Now, the posability with this figure, as we're gonna kind of get into a little bit of articulation here in a moment, is grand. And going back to the detail, the tape on the calf is a really nice detail touch that they didn't need to add, but it just adds more to the figure, adds more to the time frame of when he wore the attire. So hey, I think that's pretty great. But let's break down the articulation real quick. You can look up that high. His arms, they kind of got the little ratchet sound. Now, I can't tell if it's just because of the arms being a little bit stiffer or whatnot, but this definitely feels better in the hand than the first Wardlow. I just kind of completely ignored everything else that I've been doing for the past second. So he's got upper arm rotation and bend. He's got double joints in the arm, or well, in the elbow. He's got wrist swivel and wrist bend. He's got torso bend, but of course, as with every AEW figure, I hope you would know that. Got a little bit of waist swivel, but unlike WWE figures, the torsos will pop off. If you don't, like, if you force it, it'll just pop off. I almost said if you don't force it, so my English is very, very grand tonight. It's got a double bend in the knee. It's just going to take a second. It's got rig, rig, got leg rotation. God, I think this might be the last figure review of the night because I can't speak English worth my life. It's got ankle pivot and ankle bend, or well, he doesn't really have the pivot part. And of course, the one other thing I didn't really point out is, yeah, he can bend his leg forward. But yeah, now that we've broken down the articulations and stuff like that for the first time, I actually kind of want to compare this figure to his other figure. So let's bring that Wardlow back onto the screen. And I don't know. I don't really think they changed the formula all that much with this figure. I just think the body's just a little bit more stiff, I guess you could say. I want to say the skin tone. Oh no, the skin tone I think is a little different. Yeah, now that I look at it, the skin tone is just a shade or two darker than his first figure. So that's kind of interesting, but that's whatever. It happens when they want to try to make figures more accurate. So, but yeah, so let's get into the rating of the figure, This Wardlow, I think it is better in the hand. It looks more aesthetically pleasing compared to this plain and basic Wardlow as far as the look goes. But solidly, I don't know. I think I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. We'll give him a good 4 out of 5 stars. Almost a perfect figure. The head sculpt being a little messed up on mine is why I'm going to give it a little less points. And honestly, other than that, this figure is awesome. I would totally recommend, if you're a fan of Wardlow, pick this up. If you like the Pinnacle, pick this up. Just like AEW in general and you want to collect your figures, this is a must-have for sure. This isn't no Pac. This isn't no Kazarian figure. And I mentioned those two in particular because they both have the same body mold and they both cannot bend their fucking. Yeah, my bad for the cursing, by the way. Not bend, but they can't rotate their boots, which is kind of stupid. But, honestly, hopefully they'll fix that issue. And honestly, I really love that we finally have two different wrestling companies again. They're battling it out. They're fighting for views and stuff of that nature. Honestly, the competition aspect of wrestling is kind of coming back, and it feels great to be alive in this era. Whatever your opinions on AEW or WWE may be, I love them both equally. Because they both do great, and they both do bad. Yeah, WWE, it's also earned its reputation for having those mixed reactions on like how the fans feel and stuff of that nature, but they've also been around for so long. AEW, they're coming up into their fourth year, their fifth year. It's gonna be great to see if they can last as long as WWE, and I personally hope so. But yeah, we rated the figures. I think this is where we're going to end the video. Like if you like the video, subscribe for future content, and follow my social medias. I've got Twitter and I've got Instagram for My Damn Toys. And on both of them, you guys may tend to find updates. I tend to post to Twitter a little bit more than Instagram, but that's just because I do not really use Instagram for my own main account, let alone just to use it to update shit. But that don't matter. We're gonna hop off now. Have a good day, you guys. Peace, yo.